Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So I was just starting to do my repotting and I thought that I'm going to show you guys as well how do I carry on this process. Now for that I have my regular garden soil. Now, as you can see, this garden soil has a high content of the regular soil. So what I tend to do is I tend to filter this soil. I have already made a video on it, a detailed video, but I still wanted to clarify certain things. Now as you can see, when I'm trying to filter the garden soil, you can see the amount of fine dust that tends to get filtered through. Now this is the fine dust that tends to make the soil compact. Now I live in a city wherein I tend to receive red soil. The entire area or the entire city has a lot of red soil, and the red soil is very high in clay content. Now the moment if I'm only going to use red soil, my succulents will not survive. The roots will get suffocated because the soil tends to get very compact post watering. So this is how my soil tends to look like after it has been filtered. So once I've filtered the soil and all the gritty material that stays back in the net, that is something that I add to my aquarium sand. Now this is the aquarium sand that I purchased from my local aquarium shop. I know it is very difficult to get this sand because it's not the same, because I have been to a lot of other aquarium shops, but I've always seen that the sand differs from shop to shop. But again, you might get something similar, not exactly the same, but something similar. So once whatever material has been collected, I add it to this mixture. Now you can see these are the soil pieces that tend to stay back in the net, and that is what I tend to add into the aquarium sand mixture. Now the reason a lot of people might think, then what's the point of adding garden soil when I tend to filter almost 80% of the fine dust, because that's usually what our regular garden soil tends to have. But the reason behind this is because aquarium sand does not have any nutritional value. It does not have its own nutrition. Now, you might say, but we can go ahead and add some fertilizers. Yes, we can do that. But there is another problem. Aquarium sand does not retain moisture. It tends to dry up quickly. Now guys, even though we require a soil that tends to dry faster, but we still need some time for our succulent to have a quick drink, because the water, when you tend to water sand, it will immediately pass through the drain hole. It will just wet the soil for a couple of seconds and it will immediately dry. But our succulents tend to need a little time to have that quick drink. So that's the reason why we add a little bit of garden soil. Now guys, this is the remaining part that has been filtered, the fine sand. You can see it is extremely compact. It tends to get extremely compact. Even when I tend to squeeze it in my hand, you can see it starts forming clump. Now this, if you're going to grow your succulent in this kind of growing media, your succulent will start to get dehydrated and it will eventually die. So we definitely do not want to mix this mixture into our potting mix. However, this is not going to go in waste because I tend to make my own concrete pots. I tend to use this mixture in my concrete pots because it tends to make my concrete pot much stronger, and it also gives a slight earthen color to my concrete pots. So that's the reason why I do not use, I tend to filter. I tell a lot of people to filter their garden soil because this fine dust can make the succulent soil mix very, very compact. Now guys, once I'm done filtering, now I'm going to use my aquarium sand, which is mixed with garden soil. I'm going to add it to the bottom, and then this is optional because we already have our aquarium sand that is very gritty. But I also wanted to show you guys how to add perlite. I've already made a video on it, but I'm just going to show it to you once again. I have added the perlite in the mid level. This is where our roots usually tend to grow or rest. After which I'm going to put another layer of my succulent potting mix and then gently and slowly try to push the roots inside. Now once the succulent has been placed and once you are sure that your succulent looks good in the pot, then you can go ahead and put in some extra soil at the top so that your succulent can get secured. Now guys, initially the succulent will look or feel very loose in the soil. The reason is because we have just added the succulent to the soil. soil, but over the period of time, as and when the succulent starts to grow, as and when the roots tend to grow much bigger, the succulent will get even more secure, and then the succulent will not move because the roots will anchor inside the soil. But initially the succulent will feel that it's slightly loose. So guys, this is how I tend to do my potting. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.